Hi, and welcome back to EXTRADOSing. I'm here with MadDog.
Hello.
And the newest member of the podcast, Mackenzie.
Woohoo.
Hello.
What's up, Mackenzie?
Nothing much. How's it going?
Billy here. We're going to be discussing all sorts of stuff today. Last of Us. Maybe get to know Mackenzie a little bit for our listeners.
Yes.
We know Mackenzie. We've been working with Mackenzie, but you guys might not. Then, Last of Us. And we'll maybe get in some like dinosaur mansplaining. Just to make sure
Figure out everyone's takes on it.
You know, there's been a certain bar that the internet has told us, and that if there's podcasters, they should know about dinosaurs. So we're gonna talk about a little dinosaurs, just so everyone's on the same page.
In order to purchase podcast equipment, you have to pass like a basic
dinosaur IQ
a dinosaur IQ test.
But yeah, why don't we start off talking to Mackenzie? Mackenzie.
Hi, Mackenzie.
Hello.
Mackenzie, where did you come from? How did you
Give us
start
your
working
life
at
story.
Barstool Sports? What were you working on before this? How did you get involved in Macrodosing?
Mackenzie's an Emmy winner.
Oh gosh.
Oh wow, Mackenzie
I
has
do
an
have
Emmy.
an Emmy. Yeah.
She's the most qualified out of all of
I
us.
know. That's a fun fact that I literally always forget because I forget that I have it.
I never forget.
Neither do my parents. It's actually at their house because it's literally so big that I can't I don't have nowhere to put it in my apartment. So my parents I'm just tell people it's yours because I don't care at this point. But no, so I used to work at MLB Network. That's where I got the Emmy. That's where I started. I went to Ithaca College. And I worked on a bunch of stuff when I first started here.
Call Her Daddy being one of them.
I did start on Call Her Daddy, which was kind of wild. It was right when Alex came back after all the Sophia drama. Started editing clips for her, and that was kind of how I got a full-time job. And then for the past year and a half, I've worked on Token CEO. So I've worked with Erica and produced and edited that podcast. And then a couple other random things here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much that.
Mackenzie and I have worked together on Token for the whole time I've worked here.
Mackenzie is a trooper. She once had to accompany Dukes and I from the PLL championship game.
Yeah, never forget.
Look, Dukes and I, when we allowed on our excursions to lacrosse events, it gets a little crazy, and basically we got trapped in a garage. It was Mexican Independence Day.
Where were you?
Oh, I forgot about that.
It was in Philadelphia.
Philly.
And basically, there was some sort of celebration for Mexican Independence Day on the water. By the way, Mexican Independence Day is not Cinco de Mayo.
No.
For all you ignorant people. So it was Independence Day, and basically there was a lot of people parked there to watch the fireworks for Mexican Independence Day, and we basically got trapped in a parking garage. And we couldn't get out for hours. So I was trying to make it back to the part of my take recording. Mackenzie was there after filming for some Token stuff. For Erica was there at the championship game.
Yeah, that was why. Yeah.
So it was Dukes who was, he was not driving, so he was enjoying libations.
He was having a good time. he was entertaining the clients for Billy.
Yeah. And I was like, I gotta drive to get back to the studio. Because we were recording way late. It was an NFL. I think it was the second NFL Sunday.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, but it was.
Yeah, it was in September, I think.
Yeah. It must have been that first NFL.
But Mackenzie was just hanging in there. and Dukes was going wild. And Dukes was like, "Yo, we should just stay the night." And I was like, "I'm gonna get fired."
Yeah. Dukes was nah. I felt really bad because you felt really bad. You were like, "Oh my god, I'm not gonna make it," and you were trying so hard. And then we literally were trapped. There's no other way to say it other than we were legitimately trapped. We could not move out of the parking garage.
And weren't you didn't you have to pee on the side of the road or something like
that?
that?
No, Dukes did, and you were so
were so mad. You were like, "Oh my god, I need to get to the part of my take studio."
Yeah, no, Dukes like, "I need to pee. Stop!" I'm like, "I'm not stopping." So he just ripped freaking shoulder, and he just got out
on the highway, not a side street. It was on the highway.
If a tractor trailer drove past, Dukes would have just been thrown into the middle of into the highway. But Mackenzie was a trooper, and honestly, thank God she was there because I don't think anyone would have believed their story.
Probably not.
No, I felt really bad because you were. I give you credit because you were very
responsible.
Yes, he was being very responsible. Dukes, on the other hand, was just having a good time.
He didn't have to be responsible.
No,
When does Dukes have to be responsible?
He was fine too. He wasn't causing any ruckus. He was just being Duke.
Duke's just like operates on a level of like has had 3 beers.
Yeah.
Yes. That's his like
his baseline is has had 3 beers in the past 2 hours.
Should we just throw Dukes off this podcast?
Does he watch? I'm trying to remember. Him and I talk about Outer Banks a lot. I don't know if he's watched The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Him and I, he has a lot of takes on Outer Banks.
Oh,
though.
really?
Oh my God.
Maybe we'll bring Dukes in after we discuss.
Yeah, maybe.
Just let's
Just
spice
shoot
it
the
up.
shit. Yeah.
This is a sandbox. Like all the parents are away.
Yeah. No
left
adult
us at
supervision.
home with the podcast equipment.
Right.
Let's just get wild. Let's throw Dukes on there. let's see how crazy this gets. So now, Last of Us.
Oh God.
Let's start. We're 2 episodes. So the last time we spoke
Was right before episode 8.
So those are the last 2 episodes of the season,
Which was crazy
insane.
shit.
I gotta say, I think that episode 8 specifically, was the most intimate violence I ever saw on TV.
Yeah. I don't like violence. Well, like I obviously in general, but I'm not a gore blood person when it comes to TV. I may have been watching it through my fingertips. I went back and watched it, like knowing what happens. It's insane. And also a lot of it you don't even really see.
Yeah.
It's like your mind going to places. Also, spoiler alert, obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but-
Spoilers. We're about to.
But like,
talk
if
about
you
it.
didn't finish The Last of Us, come on now. It's Friday when this is coming out.
This is late.
I hate when people are like get mad that they saw something on Twitter. I'm like,
Then don't go on Twitter.
yeah, like if the episode's been out, that's your fault. Like, don't get mad if someone else is talking about it.
Someone tweeted at me because I tweeted like The Last of Us season finale is some of the best television I've ever seen. Yada yada yada. Like they tied it up so perfectly. And someone goes, spoiler alert. I go, I didn't say anything. I just mentioned that the show was good, which we all have known by now. But yeah, so episode 8 was so like graphic isn't even the right word.
So basically, maybe we'll get into the plot. I don't think we have to recap too much. I mean, I have some questions.
If you're listening to this, you probably know what the plot of it is.
Yeah, basically, a lot of the like especially the stuff with Joel and other combatants, the way they displayed a lot of the violence was very realistic and showed everything. Like, I don't think there's much cinematography where you see another man stab another man to death and watch him die in front of you.
Like the kneecap thing?
Yeah, and close up. Like, it reminded me of some stuff from Live Leak. Like some like Mexican cartel execution videos. Like, it was wild. I mean, in the fact that they perfectly like I've always said I'd rather be shot than stabbed.
Yeah.
Like, getting stabbed is like seriously like you're up close and personal,
and
you're being inserted into.
Yeah, because you don't die immediately.
Yeah, and like you see that all in like, and even the stuff that Ellie did. Like Ellie, like the violence that Ellie committed was a little more slasher,
and it was more self-defense.
Yeah. But it was more slasher where you didn't have like, you know, like if you saw Cocaine Bear, like a lot of it was like, almost funny gore type stuff. But like Ellie's like chopping up people.
It was so
people.
over the top.
Yeah.
But again, it's not like you see David's body when she goes at him with the cleaver. You don't even see that. It's like you're imagining. And again, I listened to the Last of Us podcast with the past 2 episodes as well. And they're like, it's what your imagination is thinking that it looks like. Yeah. Like, can you imagine if they showed David after that?
Yeah. Just hamburger meat.
Burnt to a crisp and ground beef. Like, ew, dude. But I always I thought it was funny that they get the penicillin or Ellie gets the penicillin, and then Joel is just
fine.
Back to normal, which I don't know if I've ever had a penicillin shot. Like, what does that do?
Well, I mean, I know about Toradol.
Right. I wish they got him some Toradol.
Yeah. No, but they definitely, I think they, they're allowed to take a little liberty with reality with just like a shot of penicillin kills. But, they are dealing with infections that we've conquered like thousands of years ago. Like when penicillin got invented, it increased the battlefield mortality rate, like survival rate of like battlefield wounds by like 70%. I don't know the exact topic, but like that was a huge step in warfare. Like once penicillin got invented, so many more people survived. Like I think like 80% of Civil War casualties were because of gangrene and infections post injury. So like we forget, like in the modern world, that getting stabbed by a steak can take you out.
Well, I mean, that could take you out now. I don't think that was like the craziest part, but it's crazy that I saw something, it might have been a TikTok or something, again, sorry, the TikTok's coming up, but that Joel at his whatever percentage, 10% or 20% of wellness that he was at, can still take out 2 of that colony's strongest men.
Now, here's my question. So remember the preacher whose name is David. So David, he says, I believe everything happens for a reason. And now we get, we'll get to it, but basically David's, taking care of this whole society. He's, the shepherd of the flock. They're religiously based.
He's their Jesus, basically.
Yeah. And he's, he's taking care of them, and he's doing whatever it takes to take care of them. Mm-hmm. So when he talked about Ellie and Joel, like one of their members being killed in a scavenging hunt by a man traveling with a daughter.
Man. Yeah.
So was the guy that Joel got stabbed by that guy, or is he lying?
No. So in episodes, what is that, 6, when he gets stabbed, the guy who stabs him that Joel ends up killing was that man. Okay. Was the dad to that little girl. So David knows immediately who Ellie is and who Joel is. He doesn't know what state Joel is in, and he doesn't know where Joel is necessarily, or if he's dead. But he knows immediately. That's why he like spares Ellie. Because we figure out because he's a creep pedophile, but because he knows who they are. And then that's why he's like, oh, and he was traveling with a little girl of his own. He knows exactly who Ellie is. Yeah. And it is actually that girl that we meet, her father, who was killed.
The one that he slaps, right?
Yes. And then he's not waiting for spring to bury the body.
Yeah. By the way, Ellie, fucking crazy shot. Having a shot like that on a deer.
Oh,
like,
that's more your expertise.
Well, I mean, like that was impressive. That shows that all the training Joel has done with her has worked.
I know.
And also, did you hear the clicker in the beginning?
I did.
Were you watching with subtitles? I watch with subtitles for that sort of stuff.
I don't think I was. Did it say like clicker noises?
Yeah. When she was walking through the woods, you think it's like the rattle of like horns, but if you look at it says clicker noises. It says clicker noises.
Which it didn't really end up being anything.
I know. I thought there would be more like zombies. I mean,
we didn't see a single infected in episode 8.
Are we calling them clickers? I like to call them clickers.
You can call them clickers. Be my guest.
Because infected is like too general. Clicker is very specific to.
You know who they are.
Yeah.
You know what they're up to.
Zombies in the movies.
Yeah. But what was I just gonna say? Oh, the dad was unfortunately being
cannibals
eaten by the daughter and the wife.
Yeah. So
cannibalism.
So David, one of his things to save his flock, they were running low on food. So what they started doing was they started eating people, eating their dead. Which
seems like a bit of an extreme step considering Ellie killed a deer in like an hour.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you go try a little harder, David? I think that was his goal, was to get to cannibalism.
Yeah. But also, how many people do you think had to know about the butchering?
I think it was David, and I think it was James, who I told you was played by Troy Baker, who plays Joel in the video game.
Oh, wow.
I think it was David. I think it was James. And I think it was maybe a couple of those other guys that they were traveling with. And then that woman, when James brings it and he's like, it's venison.
Yeah.
It's that woman who's preparing the food understands what that means, I think.
I think she's just don't ask, don't tell.
Exactly.
She has her suspicions. But now those people who are going out, were they looking to hunt people to eat them? Because this is what I'm saying. If that guy who died, he's already dead. If they're
the dad?
Yeah, if they were eating dead bodies. And so in Russia, during a lot of the hunger, like basically the forced hunger the Soviet Union inflicted like on Ukraine, even during the siege of Stalingrad, there was two types of charges for cannibalism. There was people who were killing people to eat them, and then there was people who were eating already dead bodies. So where are we, like, if David, I don't know if David's the first who they're actively hunting people to eat them, or the second opportunistic consumption of protein. So if they're the second one, I think that I don't know how evil David is.
Oh, come on.
Okay, yes, he's evil. Yes, he's evil. But playing David's advocate.
Well, he was about, like, I think it was probably a mix of both. I think it was what he could find. Also, remember, he was gonna kill Ellie for meat, and Ellie wasn't dead.
Okay. Yeah,
so we're back on David sucks.
Yeah.
But he was gonna kill Ellie until he found out she was infected, which power move by her. I would have forgotten in that moment.
Well, I guess you think about all the hypothetical situations we think of in our head, like randomly, like when she's on that horse trotting, she's like, well, what happens if this happens? Well, I'm going to say I'm infected.
That's also probably true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's was he out of options in his head? Yeah. But I think a lot of it comes from this weird power dynamic that he has of this Jesus-like leader where people will do whatever he tells them to.
Yeah.
And like when he slaps that girl, that daughter, he was like, your father may be gone, but you will always have a father. And that's him.
Then he sat down with them. Yeah. That was fucked.
And his voice reminded me of the Heaven's Gate guy.
Oh yeah. Raniere.
I don't think that was his name, but the guy who did Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. That was
it was like
I'm talking about
Fee and Fi or Fo and Fum or something.
I'm talking about Nexium.
Oh yeah. But like that cult leader, weirdly calm but very convincing voice, he nailed that. He was disgusting.
Rainn Wilson, Dwight had an interesting take on it. He was like, why are all Christians portrayed as evil in Hollywood? Which is
Did he actually say that?
Yeah, Rainn Wilson, who plays Dwight, it might be as weird as
I used to listen to his podcast. No free dance. But yeah, so it was a lot of mirroring to Jackson.
Yeah.
Because Jackson is this thriving community that obviously Tommy and Maria live in, and you can see that people, which we talked about in the last EXTRADOSE, people are doing well here and are watching movies and having families and all of this. And then there's something like this village we find and the steakhouse, and you see that not everyone has it all figured out like Jackson does. And also, going back to your political religious take, it shows because remember in episode 6
theocracy.
they're Maria's like, we are communists, versus this theocracy of we rely to God for all of our needs and he will bring them to us. And it kind of shows, I think it's as political as The Last of Us will get of
it's actually pretty cool. I just thought about this, that throughout the show there's various systems of small government in the settlements, be it Fedra, be it Fireflies, but the Fireflies I don't think have set up we'll get to that later, but the free zone in Kansas City I'd say is another, like, for example, I would say Fedra is representative of fascism.
Yes.
The Free State in Kansas City is representative of a revolutionary government with a dictator.
Yep.
Sort
Kathleen
of like
being the dictator. Basically,
like almost like a Cuba Che Guevara type government. I don't know how exactly you stem that as like I don't know what the exact word for it would be, because I don't think their system of government more now is like Animal Farm, like trying to
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
dictatorship, I'd say.
Yeah, which again, I know
we say communist, a revolutionary dictatorship.
Yeah, I wouldn't say communism. That's more Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson is true communism.
Oh, exactly, communism.
And the thing is,
that's working.
like almost like a Scandinavian socialism, where it works because it's a small group of people. And then I'd say we have a theocracy with David's settlement, and doesn't work. There's you see all the faults with all of them.
Yeah, you do. I think honestly though, Jackson, you don't see a ton of faults.
Yeah.
Besides, I don't know.
Not letting other people in.
Yeah.
And so they're fiercely
protective.
protectionist. Yeah. So that's their fault. They hate outsiders.
Yeah.
So
and I'm probably sure that Joel and Ellie would have been killed or close to killed if not for Tommy and Maria. But no, episode 8 I think just shows a lot of mirrors of the outside world and these ultra right wing, no separation of church and state type of people who, God shall provide, cult like, whatever. But do you think that, how long do you think it took for them to like actually turn to cannibalism?
Thing is, when you're in that situation, basically the ultimate collapse of civilization recorded throughout history has been cannibalism. Once cannibalism starts, that is when civilization is completely collapsed.
Okay.
That means there's no resources. You see there's examples of it, especially in Soviet Russia with all the starvation. That's probably the most recent examples I can think of.
When was that?
That was like in Ukraine, actually. Let me look it up. It basically was a genocide. Ukrainian 1932, the Holodomor. Millions of Ukrainians were killed in the Holodomor, a man-made famine engineered by the Soviet government of Joseph Stalin. And
then they
basically just like took all their grain and they just had no food. And they started literally, there's pictures of people selling humans for food. It is wild. It's like
in
1932.
Yeah, that's like 90
That's
years
like
ago. If you have a really old great-grandparent or even old grandparent.
There's people in Ukraine right now who lived through that as children.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
How do they like build it back up then if it's like the collapse?
If it's
and then they're all eating each other. Like how do they just all of a sudden stop eating each other?
Well, since this one was like a forced famine, there was I
once
guess
the government basically gave back their resources.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So but there's examples like, for example, the Mayans and Aztecs, there's a lot of examples of
you would eat their heart.
Yeah, but when when the Mayans disappeared, was it the Mayans? The Aztecs were there when so when the Mayans disappeared, they think that there's tons of disease, famine, and they start eating each other. And like once that happens, there's no trust within people, and then like large groups break apart. Like the fabric of society is that you're not trying to eat somebody else. You're like, in some way you can offer someone else something that makes them not want to kill you. Like that's like the fabric of society. So,
yeah, I guess. I guess when you break it down like that, yeah, kind of.
Like right now in this room,
like
we're all fed.
Right.
We all have water. We're warm.
Yeah.
We're all helping each other. We're helping each other with our jobs right now.
Right.
Once like there's no jobs, there's no food, and we get to the point where the only thing you have to offer is like, I'm hungry, then we can't have any sort of like.
Yeah, I guess you're right though.
Right.
Like that's when it gets down to like the lowest of the low. But basically they probably were hungry and he had to make a choice. They had dead bodies. And a perfect example would be Roanoke. Roanoke, one of the first colonies in America, they all just started starving and they ate each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
is that real?
Yeah. Roanoke is the lost colony.
Like Roanoke, Virginia?
Roanoke, Virginia. We got to do an episode on that. Roanoke is wild.
I was going to say, is that a college?
Yeah.
It's like
Roanoke
a city
colony.
still.
Yeah.
Basically there's like, so basically they disappeared, but they're known as the lost colony due to the subsequent unexplained disappearance of this population. So what they think happened is they started eating each other, and then the rest joined the native tribes in the area because they didn't know how to farm. They didn't know, like, this was before the Pilgrims. Like those stories about like the Native Americans. Is it Squanto?
I've heard of that.
No, I think that's a totally wrong guy. Okay. Squanto might be Squanto and the Pilgrims. Yes. Okay. Squanto helped the Pilgrims communicate with the Native Americans and taught them how to plant corn. Like that was huge. Learning how to like have your own food like was such a huge step for the American colonies. And like Roanoke didn't have that. So they were like trying to plant all this stuff they did in Europe that just didn't work. And then they based like some colonists, they're recorded of digging their own graves and just lying in them and waiting to die because they were like, I need to get to heaven, I need to be buried, so I'm gonna make it easy as hell.
They didn't want to get eaten.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They just wanted to make it easy as hell for people to like get them to heaven and get them 6 feet under facing the sky so they could get to heaven, because it was so terrible. So I don't know how long it took these guys to collapse into cannibalism. I have a feeling that David made the decision a little earlier than they had to, because more people would know if they had to resort to cannibalism.
Right, because and then also you see when Joel breaks in, you see bodies being like hung.
Yeah.
So they have a bit of a system lined up for this. So I think it's was it a last choice or a last resort? Probably.
I have a feeling. Like let's be realistic. Remember, they couldn't bury the bodies till spring, till the ground was soft.
That's a lie, Billy.
No, but there's truth to that.
There's truth to it, but then he said, well, if he's already dead, we're gonna eat him.
Let's say it was truth, right? Like, and they were keeping the bodies like embalmed, and they were trying, but they're like, hey, like, go and look for all this meat, and like, here we are.
He was a little bit plus size.
Yeah, he's in there, he's in the warehouse, and we're just keeping it for no reason. Like, it's taking up freezer space. Like, why don't we just take a little leg? Like, he won't mind. And then they just start eating them.
Oh God! But
like, we haven't found any deer. Like,
which it's just, and it's gross. But everything that David says, like, made him creepier throughout the episode, because he starts with, he was a teacher.
Yeah.
Before, and then he turned to a preacher. Oh, because it fucking rhymed. So he was a teacher before, and he taught people that were Ellie's age.
Yeah.
And so then you know that fact, like, that base level, and then you also know this also kind of gives lore to the context of he was in Pittsburgh when their QZ collapsed, because in the game, again, this isn't a spoiler, but in the game, what happens in Kansas City took place in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
So people who played the game are like, why did it take place in Kansas City instead of Pittsburgh? And the real answer is like basically set design.
Yeah.
But
Canada doesn't look like Pittsburgh.
Right. But then they kind of set that up in the show of, the QZ in Pittsburgh dissolved to some degree in 2017. So you hear that he's a teacher. Then you find out he's killing people and eating them, or, eating dead bodies. Then you find out that he wants to make Ellie, when he throws her in that cell, you find out she is going to be his child bride.
Yeah.
Tough to come back from that.
Yeah. The weirdest part is, since he was a teacher.
That's what makes it so creepy, is that he's a pedophile, gross man who was a teacher.
But also, like, the way he thinks she's special, like she's above intelligence for her age, means that, like, as a man who was judging children for their intelligence, he's just met her, and within that short time deduced that, oh my God, she's my equal. She can be a shepherd with me.
Exactly.
Which is just like, she's not a sheep. Like, he can't trick her. And
like, which scares him. So he's like,
join me.
Yeah. If you can't beat him, join him, kind of thing. So then, do you think if David approached that in a different way, do you think there's any universe in which Ellie would have been like, okay?
No. Unless
Joel is dead?
Yeah. If Joel is dead, she may have tried to survive. And that might have been the best way to survive in that moment.
But But then you have to think about the whole reason why she's there is, like, to get to the Firefly Hospital. But anyways, like, he's just disgusting. And so then they go back and forth. He basically wants to kill her. At this point, if she's not going to oblige with his demands of being a child bride, he's like, well, if you're wasting space, you're just another mouth to feed. Get on the chopping block. Literally.
How old is Ellie at this point?
14.
Yeah.
So then David and James are literally teeing up to butcher her.
Jeez.
I mean, and she is, I love her. So badass. Takes it, cleaves James in the neck. And then, I know. And then you see him. There's so much blood there, dude.
That's when it got a little comically gory. Like the other
that one was comically gory. Like, I will say
that's when it's like, okay, that's over the top.
But I've never seen someone get cleavered in the neck. Maybe that's what it looks like.
I feel like cleavers have become so like, stabber comical, but
when you're chopping up a human, I think you probably need a cleaver.
True, but
like bones.
Joel's acts of violence while torturing and like killing those other guys was so like more intensely graphic and like scary in a way.
Right. So then let's cut. So Ellie gets out of getting chopped up by David and James, kills James, and tells them that she's infected. Then we cut to Mr. Joel up and at him, chipper as could be.
Adrenaline.
Yeah. Finding these, what would you call them? Guards, basically?
Yeah, henchmen. The members complicit in cannibalism. I think there's like a group of guys like, about the cannibalism.
The MCCs.
Yeah.
And the kneecap scene.
Oh, man.
I still can't watch it.
Oh, man.
And oh my God. This is going to be us like being like, oh my gosh, but I will never be able to watch that scene fully.
Just him, and also the basically the craziest, the most psychologically ridiculous part is that you assume he'll show mercy if he tells him the truth, but then he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm just gonna kill you guys because I know you're telling the truth because I'm so fucking scary.
Right. He's done that a lot throughout the season, especially in the last episode too, which we'll get to, where even if you give him the information he wants, he will kill you anyways.
Yeah.
He has no mercy.
Like
especially if you're armed. If you're armed, you're done. He's
like a no-sum. Like he's a no-sum actor. He's a completely irrational actor. Well, he's rational in his Machiavellian like pursuit, but he is like his mode of conduct in how he negotiates with people. If you don't know his pursuit, you cannot predict the way he's going to act.
I definitely think I didn't think he was going to stab that guy in the knee. That was news for me. Yeah, I couldn't see that one coming.
When he was like, when the other guy was like, wait, why did you kill him? He told you.
Right.
Like, he told you the truth. And he's like, I know he told me the truth. And
right.
He just kills the other guy.
I know. And then he's like, it's okay. You don't have to tell me. Like, you're fine. And then just, murders But, so that's happening on one side of this wilderness camp. Then on the other side, it's Ellie and it's David fighting each other. Basically, who's going to kill who first.
Yeah.
Right? So then we get which I think ended up being one of the coolest scenes of television I've ever seen, with Ellie and David in the steakhouse.
Yeah.
When she has the torch. So she throws the torch, which I think you can immediately assume is a parallel to like hell. Yeah. Like he's basically the devil with the fire and everything. And she is just, I just love that Ellie girl. She is so resourceful and finds that stake, basically, throws the stake, starts to light the place on fire. I will say one not plot hole, one question I have. How did no one else from the settlement notice anything? What's going on when they're basically main meeting area was getting burnt to a crisp? That's a different story for a different day. But so they start to go at each other, and I mean, like everything he says when he has her pinned to the ground and he's like, don't you know fighting is my favorite part? I want to puke thinking about that. Yeah. He is so gross and so awful and nasty.
You know what's gonna suck? Like, let's say you're an actor and like you work your whole life into acting and you finally get a role.
And this is like your breakthrough role.
But like the only roles you can play is just like
this
creepy
pedophile
guys.
Man.
Like,
I know. Do you have to take a look in the mirror at that point?
Yeah, it's like when you go home, you're like, my worth, the reason this society pays me money is because I can
act like a pedophile. That's a sad way to look at it. But
I know, but he's probably like portraying like actually he's probably played other roles. I don't want to shit talk him, but like,
no,
he was just
he's
so
a great
good.
actor.
Honestly, it's just credit to how good he was.
He was. He was amazing. I'm gonna see.
He's definitely got range and can play other roles, but he just played that so well.
I'm gonna see what else he was in. But the way the way that he is so close to getting her, but even Scott Shepherd.
It was kind of like how hateable Skylar was in Breaking Bad.
I didn't see Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I didn't either. No.
No worries.
But he's this man that plays David is also in Bridge of Spies.
What's his name?
Scott Shepherd.
Scott Shepherd. Oh, he looks much more normal.
He looks way normal in real life.
Yeah.
They really made him look like a pedophile.
The mustache. It was the mustache.
Yeah. And his voice. I think it was his voice.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a audiobook narrator.
I have a feeling he's foreign.
No, he's like from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Because there's like a ton of
he's in the Breaking Bad movie. El Camino.
Oh. Huh.
Why'd you look at that? But anyways, yeah, the way that I just don't know if I were Ellie. I mean, well, I would be dead long before if I were Ellie, but like how she, even in her last fighting moments, which kind of reminds me of how Tess is in episode 2 when she's trying to get the lighter to spark, like until the very bitter end, they are working to achieve a certain goal, which is ultimately survive. Rips him out and then just absolutely goes ham.
She took a couple extra swings.
Which, again, I listened to the podcast and they were like, this was for basically, in a weird, not sadistic, but crazy way, it was like her getting out her aggression on, this was for her mom, this was for Tess, this is for Sam, this is for Henry, this is for Riley. Like, this is for everyone she couldn't save. And so because he's dead after like the first 3 or 4 swings because you hear him just stop screaming. And then she almost slows down for a second. And then she keeps and just goes nuts again. So I think that's when she was just like, I'm so mad and upset. And obviously in that moment, there's a stark change in her character. And then she gets out of the steakhouse after clobbering him. And this scene made me cry where she's walking and then Joel comes up to her and she tries to fight and then he says, baby girl, and I ended it and I'm sorry. You know what? Bonk on me. I'm sorry.
Bonk because you started crying?
No, bonk because Pedro Pascal.
Okay. Didn't know Pedro Pascal was the Mandalorian. I forgot about that. I knew that.
But then you forgot and then,
It's like, this guy's just Pedro Pascal is just the guardian of
small
all things small.
Small.
Of small helpless things.
Yeah, he's got Grogu and Ellie.
Yeah, he's just like ultimate. That's like definitely playing on some primal stuff. Like, this guy can take care of children.
Which is funny because he doesn't have kids in real life.
Yeah.
But you see that and you see, I mean, just in her face alone, she's so different. Like she's completely out. She's not like she's in fight or flight because as soon as Joel hugs her, she tries to fight back.
Do you think she tells him what she did? That's never really revealed, but you think that's ever what happens ever said?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would assume that she gives him like a Spark Notes version of like what happened of like this guy. It's the guy who, stabbed you's leader. He wanted me to be his child bride. He tried to kill me. I think she gives a Spark Notes version. I don't know if she goes into graphic detail. I don't think she has that. I think she's so emotionally damaged at that point she can't go back. She's probably going to block that off and never be able to revisit that.
Let's transition to the episode finale because I think we've gotten to that point.
Unfortunately.
So we see the beginning. She's silent. Joel's trying to get her out of shock.
Or do you want to talk about the opening scene with her mom?
Oh yeah, fuck. This place jumps around.
We're jumping.
I immediately knew
That was Ellie from the video game.
Yeah.
It just sounds like her.
That was. Oh, that's her from the video game.
Yeah.
Her
mother is Ellie in the video game.
Oh.
Fun
she
fact.
looks a lot like Ellie.
But then it's funny because James, the guy who plays Joel in the video game, looks nothing like Joel or sounds like nothing like him.
It's actually kind of crazy how Joel from the video game looks so much like Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. I think Ellie looks like Bella Ramsey. I think they look alike.
I mean, was that on purpose? Like, do you think they like meant to make this a video?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think they wanted him to look like with the video game.
It's almost like the script couldn't get sold as a movie, so they made it into a video game. And like when they were creating, it's like I still think this could be
the show later on.
This could be a show later on.
But yeah, so you see her mom running through the woods, like in active labor from a clicker, and they get into this house, or the mom gets into the house that they're staying in.
Yeah,
and obviously,
I mean,
the worst situation happens.
I was watching that, and you know how exercise is supposed to induce labor?
Yeah.
Like,
so is stress.
Yeah.
Which she was in both.
Was that like a common thing, like in caveman times, where like women were running away from predators and they're just like, I feel like that would be the worst time to go into labor.
I don't think that women were doing as much hunting and gathering.
They might have been gathering.
And then like a lion came up to them or something. Maybe.
Like.
But she literally is fighting off the clicker, and then baby Ellie just pops out.
Yeah, I mean, probably a good distraction.
Right. And then it also it also
so look
sets
at the positives.
Right. Look at the positives. You have a child. You have to get killed in 20 minutes, but you have a child.
Like instead of doing like painkillers,
right? Just
scare you.
You're doing a sparring round while giving birth.
She did not have time to feel any pain.
No, she literally didn't.
Like,
she was busy. She was booked and she was busy.
You're in the delivery room and you're supposed to do like the breathing. With
I'm on a spin.
Like,
I'm on a spin bike.
I'm gonna scare the shit out of you. Boo.
But
she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
with all of this, it shows how Ellie got immune, because her mother obviously was bit as she was giving birth and still attached to the umbilical cord. So there was some blood transfer that the cordyceps. Ellie's always been infected. Basically, is the short story of it. Is she was always infected, and the way that it was told in this podcast, I reference, you guys have, the podcast is so good.
Who's on the podcast?
It's the host is Troy Baker, who's the guy who plays Joel in the video game, so James. Then it's Neil Druckmann, who is the president of the video game company that created The Last of Us, so he created the video game.
Oh, nice.
And then it's the showrunner of the show, Craig Mazin.
They're probably way more credited to be podcasting about it.
I mean, they created it. But we're like, holy shit. But basically the way that blood transfer works is, I think, again, it
was explained.
Yeah, is that since she always had cordyceps infection in her blood, it basically, if she got infected again, which as she did, basically the cordyceps that's already in her is like, we're good, we already got her covered, move on.
Yeah, it tricks, how was it explained? It tricks the cordyceps into thinking
you're already cordyceps. Yeah.
So we now found out that she's not, resistant to all fungi.
No. And her mother was a firefly, ?
Yeah.
Anna was a firefly because Marlene then comes in.
Yeah.
And
so she's not resistant to athlete's foot or yeast infections.
Right. So we learned that.
Something we thought would have been cool.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't it be crazy if she
she's just like antifungal always.
But so Marlene comes in. So then you can kind of assume that her mom was a firefly, and then she's like, one, lies to Marlene and is like, I got bit after she was born.
Yeah. 2
is like, you need to take Ellie, and basically says, give her to someone who can take care of her. So she's not directly putting it on Marlene. She's just saying like, find someone who will take care of her.
Yeah.
And the third and final request, which may be the craziest or most sad out of all three, please kill me.
Yeah.
Because you see her leg when, by the time Marlene gets there, she's already in the late stages of about to be infected. And she's like, just end it now. Like, just shoot me. And Marlene obviously is like her best friend from childhood and is like, I can't do that. Like, you're my bestie. Why would I do that? Like, I would rather just leave the house and have you turn infected or kill yourself.
Yeah.
And then she
She's
walks
just like-
out and bang, done. Which is, I don't know if I could do that.
I mean, that's the only way to do it. Just like, no big deal. Just got to take out this clicker. Yeah. That's tough.
I know. So then you cut to what you were just talking about. So basically, we see how Ellie becomes immune, and we see her origin story.
Yeah. We still haven't seen her kill Riley yet.
We won't, but we get that story as well.
We do get that story, but we never see it. That was never mentioned. Like, I feel like that's going to be a flashback soon.
Maybe.
Like her
Oh,
killing
that would be
Riley.
interesting. That would be interesting.
Like when we got to find out more about when she found out she was immune.
That's like how she, well, okay, we'll get there. But so then we cut to they're walking somewhere. I think Salt Lake City. And Ellie is abysmally quiet.
Yeah.
And Joel is trying to cheer her up, saying, "Oh, I found the Chef Boyardee. I found this game called Boggle. Have you ever played Boggle?" And Ellie is obviously traumatized from what she had to go through with David.
Yeah.
And you're like, was Ellie going to be... One, is Ellie going to be herself again? Two, is Ellie going to be able to perform to the best of her abilities in a life or death situation like she has been, if put up to it again? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, does she still have those like cunning abilities? So they're walking through, and then you see the giraffe.
Yeah. Called it. I called it that there'd be wild exotic animals running around. Would probably be more likely it was going to be predators. Like giraffes, where are they?
At that point, they're in Salt Lake City, but people are like, well, how did giraffe get there? Zoos, babe.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this in the last one. Like, why aren't there more exotic animals running around?
We are.
There's more tigers and lions in Texas than the rest of the world. So why am they like? I think it would be more realistic. Like, a tiger or lion attack occurs than like I think a lion or a tiger would survive better in that post-apocalyptic world than a giraffe.
Yeah, but I also think that if like based on that climate, or again, if they're in Salt Lake City, then it's gonna get real chilly. But it's the spring and there's greenery everywhere.
But those giraffes, there was a breeding population of giraffes for 20 years.
Right.
That means.
Right.
Which I don't think is like. I mean, think about how many humans there are, and probably I have a feeling that like the lions and tigers could eat cordyceps, like.
And be fine.
Yeah. Have we seen any cordyceps animals? Is that a thing?
No, remember I Googled it last EXTRADOSE and we were like, it doesn't affect them the same way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The monkeys didn't have cordyceps either.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that is a glimpse into Ellie is still Ellie in there. It'll just take some time to get it back.
Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, this is so fucking cool. Like I think if it were pre-David, she would have been freaking out.
Yeah.
But she just doesn't have that capability right now to show emotion like that, which I just loved that giraffe moment. I thought was really sweet. Also, I saw a picture that it was actually like real giraffe, like that they used a real giraffe.
It looked pretty CGI.
I thought so too, but then I saw a picture of behind the scenes and they were with a legit giraffe. That might be
Probably
photoshopped.
spiced it up. I mean, you see how long giraffe tongues are. Isn't that wild?
Mm-hmm. I fed a giraffe like at the zoo.
Yeah, giraffes are wild.
Oh yeah, I always see those videos of people like
Yeah, and you give them the lettuce.
little celery or something.
Yeah.
Giraffes are chill.
I was at the Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago a couple months ago, and they had giraffes like inside.
Yeah, it's probably too cold.
No, but like in a way that I didn't think giraffes could be inside. Not in like a little enclosure.
It was like a stable.
Like it was like they were just kind of, I don't know, like hanging out. Now I'm forgetting exactly like what it would be like called, but it was like
They hang out in stables.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean when you're dealing with giraffes are just basically like long-necked livestock. So you can keep them.
They get
out.
aggressive though, don't they? And then they like use their neck
against male to male during mating season. But like they're just a lot of zoos, I mean, a lot of those animals are same like like hoof-toed creatures that are kind of a lot like other hoof-toed creatures. Like there's not that much difference between the temperament of a giraffe and a cow in a way. Just they're shaped different and they lived in different places, but they just want to do the same thing, graze.
Do giraffes have milk?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So like
I don't know if I believe you.
So they're like happy. They're happy just like eat hay inside, just like a cow.
They're chilling.
Yeah.
Do giraffes produce milk?
Actually, I think there's some
they do.
cute
They
videos.
do produce milk.
I think there's pretty cute videos of like giraffes standing up for the first time.
Oh,
just
so
to
cute.
nurse, just to nurse off their tall ass.
Because their little legs are like
They can't.
they don't know how to
stand yet.
use them.
Yeah.
Oh, this is from 6 years ago. This article, but is giraffe milk the new superfood?
It makes you grow big and tall.
Interesting. It's rich in vitamin A and B12. I have a very high deficiency of B12. Anyways, getting back to
Have you ever taken B12 shots?
Yeah.
Like injected?
Yes.
Dude,
Shots?
they buzz you the fuck out.
I
I
didn't
just
notice
started
a difference.
taking B12 like vitamins.
I take that every
Yeah.
morning.
Turns your
but-
piss fluorescent green.
I also didn't have that same reaction.
Don't athletes
We're
do
not
that?
taking enough.
Really? Do athletes do that, Billy?
Yeah. I take a B12 supplement every day.
So do
And
I.
If you're not looking at your piss and be like, oh my God, I'm so dehydrated, you're not getting enough.
Oh God.
You got to go overboard.
I'm like
with it.
really, really low in it. And so I went to the doctor. I had to get like blood panel. And then they were like, girl, you have no B12. Got a B12 shot.
Mhm.
And then
You just feel like, woo.
no, I felt really no different. But I
Because you had none before.
because I had none. So it's
But if you exercise on it, you feel better.
really
I'm-
okay. See, I take my B12 after I've exercised.
You should take it before, like every morning.
I took it this morning. I exercise and then I take my supplements. Which also, quick side note, I'm taking that L-carnitine.
Yeah, that shit.
Do I have to take
rocks.
that before I exercise? Because I do it after I exercise.
You
too.
should be taking everything. What I do
But
when
it's
I'm
so early when I work out, and I don't want to do all that.
yeah. I mean, you could. I mean, I take it with my pre-workout in the morning. Then I get my workout.
I also
done.
don't use pre-workout.
Yeah, that has a lot of B12. Like all
Really?
of those have B12. You should try it. C4, amazing.
I would use C4.
C4 actually, right there.
Yeah.
It probably has enough B12.
But
You should try it.
I'm thinking of dosing myself, like double dosing my B12.
100%. The worst thing
Like
that happens
is I pee it out.
yeah, you pee it out, and once you know that you're like, because your body's absorbing all the B12. The only way you know you have enough B12 is if you start peeing out B12 because your body's like.
But
okay,
how do I
we're
know
good.
if I'm peeing out B12? Is
Because
because
it turns like highlighter yellow, and you're like, oh my God, I have radioactive piss.
I
And it's
feel like
actually
that's
really
not good though.
no, but it's really cool because like
No,
it's really fun because like
you're like I'm glowing.
because like I'm peeing in the urinal and I'm like, oh yeah, look at that B12.
Oh.
It's just like fluorescent.
Because what is B12?
And then someone like let's say the urinal doesn't flush, then someone goes in behind you, is like, what the
oh
fuck's
my
going on
God,
with your
like,
piss?
are you okay, bro?
Like what the hell?
Can I ask a weird question?
What?
When you're peeing in a urinal, doesn't that all just like go down the drain immediately?
Yeah, but sometimes it's like
a little bit of an overflow.
backed up.
Clogged a
Ew.
little.
People are
Gross.
spitting zin and gum in there.
Wait. So what does B12 give me energy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get back to The Last of Us in a second. So if I don't have a lot of B12, I tend to go 100 to 0 at night, and I'll be wide awake, and then I'll pass out. Is that a B12 thing?
I don't know.
Like if I don't have enough B12, I can't slow down my.
Let's look at B12.
You know what I mean? Like
B12
I'll fall asleep with the lights on
role.
top of my covers a lot.
Oh, red blood cells. It's red blood cell production. When B12 is low, numbness, muscle weakness, confusion. Definitely get your B12 up.
I'll
You
get my
should be
B12
taking
up.
enough B12 where you're like, oh my God, Billy was right. My piss is a highlighter.
See, it says high levels of vitamin B12 can be a sign of liver disease. Okay, well I guess,
Yeah. That means
guess
your
if
liver's
I'm-
not processing it.
but I guess if I'm inserting it into my body, like it's not like my body's producing it.
yeah.
High doses of B12, such as those used to treat a deficiency, might cause headache, nausea, and vomiting and diarrhea. Well, anyways, yeah, I'm really, really low in B12.
Yeah.
I think
That's
a lot
pretty
of
easy.
women are. That and iron. Anyways, back to The Last of Us. I mean, that was a pretty good segue.
A little segue. So, medical talk. Joel gets knocked out. By the way, them being totally, them not seeing those guys behind them.
Well, it's because they were talking about Joel attempting suicide, and then Ellie is the one that healed his heart.
Oh.
That's such a nice moment. And then it's like they're going to be together forever, and then they get ripped apart like 40 minutes later.
It goes
or 40 seconds later.
It goes back to how Joel doesn't have his fastball anymore.
Right. I saw something, and I don't know if it was real, but they were coming at him from the side that he's deaf on.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he was like, you know, I'm the one that shot and missed. Ugh. So sad. And they never like would really say, I love you, or like, you know, I'm glad you're here. But he'll be like, it isn't, because she's like, oh, this is just a lesson to say that time heals all wounds. He's like, it's not time that did it. Like, they're so beat around the bush with their affection for each other. Like, it's not time that did it. And then it's like, obviously it's Ellie. And then she's like, well, I'm glad that guy missed. Like, they can't be so direct with each other. And then I thought that was like a really sweet moment. And then immediately it turns into just absolute anarchy. So then they get knocked out with, what's that thing called? Like a something grenade?
Oh, flashbang.
Flashbang. And then you wake up and
Ellie's in surgery.
Ellie's about to be in surgery.
So basically, he deduces that Ellie. Okay, so I actually have a strong stance to take here.
Okay, well, okay, we need to see our moral compass on this one. Both you and I. What's your take?
I think it was a little. So basically, Joel goes nuts because he thinks that they're basically going to sacrifice Ellie.
Well, not basically, they are.
But they don't know that. Like, brain surgery occurs.
But he was like, cordyceps grows in the brain. Like, Marlene lays it out for him that Ellie's dead. Or Ellie will be dead.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think that justifies committing a mass shooting, basically. He commits a fucking mass shooting. That whole scene, like, honestly, I think it's just our day and age and what we've, you know, like, been living through. But, like, that whole action scene, like, yeah, it makes sense in a video game. And I guess it was, but, like, that whole time, just seeing a guy shoot up a hospital.
Like, literally level a hospital.
Like, gives me, like, shooting doctors, shooting nurses, gives me major, like, mass shooting vibes. And I'm just like, well, if one person's death justifies that, I don't know. The scene didn't rub off on me well, because I was like, this guy just committed. And now we're like, it's not even about saving humanity. It just kind of was like, the whole time I couldn't enjoy it, because, like, this is a mass shooting.
So, yeah. So, you're correct that was a mass shooting, and he's basically just getting rid of everyone in Ellie. But I'll be a Joel apologist. He's getting rid of everyone in his way to get to Ellie, no matter what that takes. And you hear the music. The music is louder than the gunshots in that moment. And it's like, he is not thinking correctly. He is not thinking rationally. He has like a one-track mind, and anything in his way will be obliterated. So
they just need to make the other people look a little more evil. Like, I needed a little more, I don't know.
You needed a reason for them to be dead.
They made it obvious, but, like, they needed to make Joel seem a little bit more like the good guy in those situations.
Well, I don't think did
he shoot the nurses?
No. So here. So he shoots every single person that's armed. He doesn't shoot the nurses because they are obviously scared and terrified, and they're the ones that can, like, get Ellie, like, that he's like, take the IV out of Ellie, and they're not armed, so they turn around. He doesn't shoot them. They're also women. I need to, you know, he did shoot another woman though. I did see. Yeah. But anyone is armed, because it's not like he can show mercy to them, because what if he's like, okay, I won't shoot you. They're still armed. They are still a threat to him, whether or not they would actually kill him or, you know, stand in his way. They are still a threat to him because they are armed. So he levels the hospital. Then he goes in. The surgeon, like, in the process of putting Ellie to sleep, the surgeon has a scalpel, I mean, what are we doing here, buddy? Surgeon has a scalpel. He's dead. He's gone. Goodbye. Which I get why he killed him. Obviously, he's the one that's would have ultimately killed Ellie.
Yeah.
But if anyone wants to find a cure, the guy who was, like, kind of in charge of that whole ordeal, which I'm assuming was that surgeon, dead. So that's tough. But then I found it interesting that he was like, again, he's committing a mass shooting, and then he's like, take Ellie's IV out and put a bandage over it, like her little IV wound. Like he's like, nothing can hurt Ellie.
Yeah.
So then we find Marlene. So he gets Ellie out, and we find Marlene. Okay, let's debate. Do you agree with what Joel did? Not the mass shooting part, but saving Ellie.
His essence, yeah. I didn't like how this, like, it was like, depicted, because I don't know.
Also, you have to remember though, it's a video game too.
Yeah, so that like
it's a
like I would play that video game
exactly.
And just I just killed like 7 people
down
the hallway.
You killed the 7 fireflies in your way. Like that's you have to kind of remember that part of it too.
But I don't know. Maybe that didn't translate well to TV, but I think it wasn't realistic that she had to die. Like, for example, they're collecting samples from the cordyceps. They could have even taken a giant syringe and just like taken a laparoscopic sample, because if the cordyceps, you can't make a vaccine for a fungal infection. Yeah, but
people aren't talking about that enough.
I think they were like trying to like get the good fungus and then just inject the good fungus into everybody, so that they can have their brains trick all the other fungus into thinking it's cordyceps.
Right. Well, I agree with Joel. I don't think, because Ellie didn't get to choose, and I know Ellie would have chosen to sacrifice herself. If you were 14 and the fate of the world was in your hands, like, you aren't equipped to make that kind of decision. No one's equipped to make that kind of decision.
Yeah.
And so I think not telling her, because Marlene's like, or Joel says, you didn't give her that decision, and it's not up to you to make. And she said it's not up to you to make either. But Marlene truly doesn't know Ellie.
Yeah.
And
first person to ever hold her.
Well, besides her mom.
True.
But yeah, like, Marlene has this sense of care over Ellie, but she doesn't know her. And so I think also, if you think that the Firefly's creating this cure and they would do all good with it, you're ridiculous. You don't think they would hoard that or sell it for some, I guess money isn't really a thing there anymore, but some sort of resources? Like, you're ridiculous if you think they'd be like, oh, here's the like saving world grace vaccine. Like, no big, guys, here you go. Like, no. So I think Joel doing or saving her is the right choice. Again, let me know if you disagree, but
then afterwards he doesn't tell her what happens,
and he also kills Marlene, which, like, I get it, but like, I don't know,
she would come and get him.
Yeah, but again, it feels like then at that point you're like killing off people you might need in the future. I get it. I don't know. I didn't play the game.
I mean, so I feel like every single person on planet Earth outside of the situation, besides the viewers, would be like, what the fuck? Why we could have saved humanity, and we could have gone back to civilization, right? But here we are. You had to have your not even daughter, like your cargo. Like, you got attached to the cargo.
You got attached to the cargo, but I don't know. And then she wakes up, and he lies, and this is, I mean,
like, how are they supposed to go back to Wyoming and be like, oh, what happened? Oh, they tried, didn't work. They had other people, didn't work.
But like, probably just like that.
Yeah, like, oh, it didn't work. I mean, who knows the secret then? So if Joel and also his brother are the only ones who know.
What secret?
The secret that she's immune.
Oh, I think did Maria find out?
Not sure.
Is that it? Is that really it?
Yeah, everyone at the Fireflies died.
Tess dies.
I mean, the nurses.
Yeah, I guess the nurses.
The nurses know.
But there's not a form of mass communication.
So I feel like the nurses might, I feel like every armed guard in that setup is dead. Actually, no, the guys who captured him weren't killed. The guys who captured them and hit him with the flashbang. Yeah. They're definitely going to be characters come after him.
You think?
Yeah. Might even be the brother. I don't know. I may be stereotyping. I just remember Joel didn't kill any black people, and the guys who found them were black.
I don't know.
So I think, is that what's her face's brother?
Marlene.
Is that Marlene's brother?
I don't
Okay,
think so.
you know what? That's.
I think you're stereotyping.
We might have to cut this.
I think you're stereotyping. But yeah, he tells the lie, and I mean, Ellie's smart. I think she immediately knows that that's not true.
Yeah, it's just like don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, and then they get to the hike, and again, she finally works up the courage to be like, "Please tell me everything is true what you said." And he says, "I swear," and then she says, "Okay," but it says it's you could take it a different way of, okay, like I believe you, or okay, like I don't believe you, and everything from here on will be different.
Yeah. Dukes has not seen the last episode of Last of Us. So.
Has he watched the rest of them?
Yeah.
Oh, he can't come in here right now then.
Yeah. He can't come on.
He cannot come on. We would ruin that for him. He loves a TV show. But she knows.
Oh, should we get Dukes' take before seeing the last episode and then we move on?
Yeah. Tell him come down.
PMT studio. Let's just see what he thinks about everything.
Yeah, let's see what he's predicting. And then, that's kind of that's where we leave them. What'd you think? This is my favorite season of television I've ever watched in my entire life, and I will die on that hill. I love this show.
There's a couple, I think first couple seasons of Walking Dead, same vibe. This one's different because I think it is more pertinent to current reality.
Right, pandemic.
I think this one's hitting harder because of the pandemic.
My guy.
What's up? Duke's coming into the studio.
Dukesy, sit down. Mm-hmm.
You definitely should check out Breaking Bad. Oh, sorry, Mackenzie. Do we have to do some camera work?
No.
Sweet.
No, it's all good.
It's already on it.
Hi, Dukes.
What's up, people?
Hi. Okay,
Dukes,
so Dukes is here. If you don't know Dukes, he's on Pick'em.
Check him out on
He's
the
on the
Priest
Sportsbook.
Dive.
Yep. Entertain clients with Billy.
Yeah, he sits right in front of me at work.
Mackenzie's just joined Macrodosing. So
Yes.
Mackenzie, I'm Kevin.
Hey.
so we were recounting our escape from Philadelphia.
Oh, right. Yeah, that parking garage.
Yeah.
Stuck in it for 4 hours.
Trapped.
Yeah, that was legitimately nightmare fuel.
The best was the video you sent him. We're like, get a video of like what's happening because you walked back down the parking garage and wasn't like his commentary in the background of it the whole time.
Yeah.
Being like, dude, what's going on? Literally trapped.
But we're doing a Last of Us recap.
Yeah,
And-
I heard you haven't seen the last one yet.
I've been saving it.
Dude, for what?
So I couldn't watch it Sunday.
Okay.
Monday, I was like, all right, like I don't have the brain power to kind of like watch. You have to put yourself in the right
State of
You don't
mind.
want to like just like watch it. You
No.
need to like watch
it.
it. So then I was gonna do it last night. Had to work the stream, so I'm prepared for tonight.
Just going into it, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, what are
your thoughts on the season? What are your hottest takes?
And what do you think's gonna happen?
Look, I'm gonna say it. It's kind of predictable. I love the show, like top to bottom, but I kind of feel confident I know what's gonna happen.
Okay,
Ellie's
spill.
dead. Like she's gonna get infected. I'm not even making eye contact with them because I don't want to know. But I think she's 100% infected.
She is infected. We've known this the whole time.
Yes. But I'm saying she's gonna be.
Oh, you think she's gonna get
have
like
hair coming out of her mouth? She's gonna be one.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's gonna be a zombie. So they said there was something in episode I want to say 7 when she was with Riley that they said like, sooner or later it all comes for us. Like sooner or later, like some people get infected, like
2
turn
hours,
zombies
whether
in
it's
2
2 hours or
seconds,
2
2
days.
hours. So like hers just might be delayed like a year or something. Like eventually, I don't know if it's this episode, I don't know if it's season 2, I don't know if it's season 3, whatever. She is gonna be a zombie.
I love that take of you saying it's predictable and that's your reasoning, because in my brain it's predictable that like Ellie and Joel will always survive. That was like how I thought it would be predictable, because it was like, what, you can't continue the show without Ellie and Joel.
So one of my things that like I really like,
I won't say anything.
I love like even like if you just listen and you watch with closed captionings and you just listen to what they're saying, they tell you what's gonna happen. That's my thing with TV shows. They'll always tell you, just have to catch the hints.
Okay.
Did you think there was a clicker in the beginning of
Episode 8.
Episode 8?
When she's hunting for the deer.
Did you hear that noise?
If you're watching with subtitles.
Actually, let's see if it's on Twitter.
Wait. So the second to last episode.
Yeah, the one with David and the cult. Cannibals.
Oh, did you not see this?
No, I
You
have.
did. No, he did.
I'm trying to think. No.
Well,
Wait. What clicker?
So basically,
When she's hunting for
when
the
she
deer.
sees the deer, the ant. A
Oh,
lot of
right.
people thought it was antler rattling, but if you look at the closed captioning, it goes clicker.
Yes.
So that could maybe that'll turn into something for episode 9.
There was also like that episode I thought was like you knew. I knew.
Don't tell me you could predict like.
Oh no! We could pull Owen in here, and he could tell you that I said like, or no, what I wasn't with Owen, but it was with somebody else. I said exactly what was gonna happen.
Really?
Yeah, exactly how it went down. Like I was like, she's gonna be able to save herself, but like the whole thing, how like she was able to physically save herself, and you showed how powerful Ellie is and how strong she is. But then how Joel was there to save her emotionally was so powerful and strong.
I know. You're
No,
so
I know.
racist.
Guys,
No,
I'm not that like. I'm not like if for people that do know me, I'm not like that smart. But when it comes to TV, I'm like very passionate.
Well,
about this
and
stuff.
I was telling people before, you and I discuss Outer Banks as if it is the most high quality television.
It's just
that's ever-
Outer Banks is just lifetime television for like 19-year-old dudes that like
Yeah, it's like the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, it's Hallmark for 19-year-old dudes that like beer and boobs. Like
Yeah,
they're like
it's
this
great.
is so simple.
and me apparently.
Yeah, well,
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it too.
Love beer and boobs, my two faves. But I want to revisit this. Obviously we sit next to each other, but I want to talk to you after you watch the last one because I want to see what your reaction to it is.
so I also think
And I'm
There's also
proud of
one
you
more-
for avoiding spoilers for this long.
and one of the I haven't really spoiled much.
Like you have
I muted everything on Twitter.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like you.
But also one of my predictions based off this also is if you know like if X equals Y and all that
Right.
BS, if Ellie dies, we are going to be introduced to a new character.
Okay, like a new Ellie kind of,
I mean,
or a new.
You got it. I also there's one that like I haven't been able to like publicly say yet, but like
We're
say
here.
This isn't like on like public airwaves or anything, so I'm not afraid to say it. Are Joel and Ellie gonna bang at some point?
Oh my god!
Oh,
Like,
you know what?
Dukes, don't
I-
say that.
I agree with you.
No, it's like
Oh my god, she's 14.
I
It's
know,
just-
but like here's what I'll say: if people that have watched Game of Thrones,
Dukes.
like chill.
This is HBO.
This
It is HBO.
Like let's not act like
This
we're the
is
king of
HBO.
morals. Like they almost had Ellie graped on television,
Dude,
Like,
they literally, thank you, Deuce.
Like,
I needed someone to
and
like.
she like goes to
You just needed someone to say
I
it.
just didn't know, but like this is gonna get like they showed graphic depictions of violence and manipulative death, cannibalism.
Yeah.
You're saying that
this is where we draw the line.
This is where we like I don't think there's been any relations on the show yet.
No.
well,
but-
here's the other thing is
Yeah.
so if they go through the years, have you guys seen Game of Thrones?
No.
Like with like Arya. All right. Well, Arya's like it starts off as like a 10-year-old character, and then by the end of it, she's
Is
14.
that Sophie Turner?
No, it's the other one.
Oh.
Maisie Williams.
Yeah.
So she's like 21 in the last season, and she's 14 in the show. It's a weird concept, but like people wanted to, like people were like kind of rooting for it because it's a fucked up show.
well, I think Ellie might be lesbian.
Yeah.
Well,
because
her,
she kisses
her and Riley, yeah.
Yeah.
Like no, but it's
That's
so,
a good point.
Yeah.
oh no, this is where it gets even. You want to see like this? Is where it gets even
I want you to take
This
Thank
is-
God
Like
we
Joel like makes an advance, and she's like, no, I
I'm
ain't-
gay.
I ain't
You're my
into that.
dad.
I can't wait to see because like they're gonna come back to the Riley and Ellie storyline again.
Okay.
Because they haven't shown like okay, so I think that also. Wow, the theories are spinning right
Like,
now.
let's be real.
Three big cat
When-
blends in, and I'm spinning around the room.
when is the last time like Joel's got needs?
Joel
How's
has
he dealing with his needs?
and also
Yeah.
Mackenzie.
So Ellie is gonna kill Riley. Like they're gonna show that. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
think about it. Riley,
Yeah,
they're
we
both
talked about-
together,
yeah.
waiting
We
for
talked
each other.
about
Getting right, and they.
How? Yeah,
not a spoiler, but they don't show anything in the last episode. I will say that.
Wait, don't say anything.
I know.
I like when people are like, "I'm not going to spoil anything," but this isn't what happens. Don't say anything.
Okay, sorry, I'll shut the fuck up. Sorry, I'll shut the
okay,
fuck up.
Ellie and Joel bang in the last episode.
That would.
You were
not
right.
fun- Now
We'll
that
tell
like
you right
now
now.
like in my
Right.
head, like I'm gonna be watching this and I'm gonna be like, "Oh,
When
my
are they
God.
banging? No, I think there's just too much of a father-daughter relationship going on, and he sees her as Sarah.
Yeah, but if time goes, we don't know how many years are gonna pass. Like, what if
That's
she turns
one
like
fair
19?
point. Okay, but
What
like
if he's a
season
groomer?
1,
What if he's a groomer?
yeah.
if he was a groomer, he would have raped her in fucking Boston.
Whoa, groomers don't rape. Groomers wait.
groom. They,
Oh, groomers
they
groom.
play the long game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
David is a graper.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but that was an intense episode. That was probably the most emotional for me. I think people would say episode 3.
Episode 3, I cried in episode 5 when Henry and Sam die.
Yeah. Predictable.
Yeah, but still.
I like how we're also saying like predictable when it's literally a video game that's like, that you could play and see the storyline fall out. Yeah,
exactly. Like we can go see exactly what happens if we go play this video game.
Like you guys are like, what's your predictions? Like you could just get anybody that's played the video game and be like, tell me what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I could just go look right now.
Yeah.
No, it's the Joel and Ellie take. It's your take. I won't say anything.
No, it's just. Would you be like? I don't know. I also like. I think I'm with Billy on this. Like, I just think that HBO is more fucked up than we're giving them credit for.
That's true.
Like, I kind of think of the worst. It's not like I
want that.
It's not like if it was on any other channel,
like, no way.
I'd be like, no way. But it's HBO, so I'm like, there's got to be a sick twist or turn at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to like the collapse of civilization. Anything goes. Like we know, Joel is so genuine. Everyone loves him for like this protecting figure, like the only good in the world. And the reason why he's so good to Ellie is because of the loss of his daughter and his, trauma. And that's why he's doing all this and he's connected. But like, there's other evil shit. He could easily go evil. We've seen him do I don't know.
He talks about it. No, don't.
Close your ears. Well, he kills a lot of people.
Yeah, no.
So
Dukes,
what?
You know that he kills a lot of people.
Oh,
you know that.
He publicly says that he's like I've done a lot of
fucked up
things.
I wouldn't be surprised if he in his past had committed some sort of non-consensual act while outside of the QZ. Like, let's be real here. Like,
no, I'm
smugglers.
with Billy. I'm with you.
Like,
interesting.
And also, we don't know. Like, if the whole show takes apart in like 2 years and she's at 16 years old, yeah, we could throw out the like them getting married, them like him trying to make an advancement on her out the window. If this is like a 5-year, like an extended
if she
period
grows
plot,
up,
yeah,
okay. I'm just seeing
she's
it
lesbian
as,
right now.
Yeah.
But like, come on, it's 2023. I mean, how old is it in the QZ? 2023 also.
Yeah, same
yeah.
Progressive. I mean, she could be fluid.
Yeah.
We can, and again, this is HBO.
Again,
so they're going to be progressive a little
HBO.
bit. Yeah, like we have to keep everything on the table right now.
Okay.
I'm firmly placing Joel and Ellie on the table.
Okay, do you ship them?
Ship them what?
Like, do you know what that means? Like, I ship.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
You don't want it, but you just think it'll happen.
Yeah, it's just people. There's safe takes, and then there's takes you got to throw out there to like be like.
And that's you two's specialty.
Yeah, like there's I'm throwing a take out there. Like, if it doesn't happen, forget I ever said this.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll delete this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I didn't like say it to anybody besides you guys.
Right. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking microphones for any specific reason or anything. No. So how have you been liking the first season so far? Up until the last episode.
It's amazing. I've never had a show start this hot, like pull on my emotions like this. Like the second to last episode, the one that I got left off with, really like pulled on my strings. The third one was kind of funny. So the third one,
Bill and Frank.
I was talking
great
to someone.
Episode of television.
I knew going in, someone was like, I heard someone on like Twitter be like, oh, like there's like a lot of like gay scenes in there.
Mm-hmm.
And just like watching it back, I kept thinking that Joel was gonna be the one. You know what I mean?
To be gay?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So I didn't even think that Bill and Frank
would exist.
Yes.
You thought it was just gonna be Joel.
Like, think
and
about
his
it, like
lover.
watching back, like they're hanging out all the time, and I'm like, this isn't it. It's not them.
Yeah. It's Joel and Bill.
Joel is gonna come
Joel.
in.
Yeah.
Like when they're at their house for the dinner party.
Yes.
He's like, let's go.
Yes.
Let's go inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even like after they kiss and everything, I'm like, all right. So when does Joel?
Get into this mix right now.
But what I love about this show compared to other like zombie apocalypse stuff and other like, after civilization ends movie is that they explain a lot more of the stuff that's pertinent. Like gay people still exist after it all goes.
Ellie gets a Diva Cup.
Yeah. Didn't know that existed.
You didn't know Diva Cups existed as like a whole in real life?
No, I just saw her grab the tampons in the 7-Eleven and get excited. I was like, yeah, what the hell is she doing like when she didn't have tampons? Like what? Like
I mean, what were they doing without tampons back in like the 1600s?
I don't know.
Sitting on a rag.
What were they doing in the 1600s?
Sitting on a rag.
That's such a funny concept.
We're gonna exchange dinosaur facts for
for tampon facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Diva Cup, like, yeah, they do explain more. I also like that it's like
Real.
real, and you really just the zombie quote unquote is just not that important of a part.
I think the coolest part about the entire show is how they refuse to call them zombies and they call them infected.
Yeah.
I think that's one of like the most under like appreciated things.
Because they're not.
Because I hate calling it a zombie show because it's not.
It's not. It's like it really does. Like it's kind of like when people say this. I know this might not make sense. It's gonna come across stupid, but like how like Spider-Man. Like they're like like Spider-Man's not real, but like I can understand the concept of like a infected like spider biting you and then like that all happening.
Right, like it adds up in your brain.
The math adds up.
The math is there.
Yeah. But like that's kind of like this like infected like the infected like like they explained it well enough where it makes sense.
They set it up so well in the first episode, that cold open where they're in like that 1960s talk show. And so you're like, oh, I know exactly how this happened. Like it's not like, and then they set it up with like that flour mill in Jakarta. Like it's not like I don't know. Like, how does The Walking Dead? Like, how does it happen in The Walking Dead?
I mean, it's so The Walking Dead.
Like, how does it start?
Like a bunch of homeless people start biting people, and it just occurs over. It actually, they don't really explain it.
Right. Like you don't know. I clearly
Dead.
know exactly how.
Well, the thing is
how this cordyceps infection starts.
And it's so possible, and it's so possible because literally fucking Wuhan. Like the virus.
Let's go.
No, we've confirmed that. We've confirmed that. Yeah. Like a lab. I mean, like a sugar storage facility in Indonesia getting contaminated with fungus is something we all have fucking mold growing in our showers.
Right. Yeah, I do.
Fungus.
1,000.
Yeah, I do.
Like,
fungus is crazy. Like I thought one of the coolest parts about the entire like fungus. First off, is like people talk about them being like nuts, and like I've listened to enough Joe Rogan shows because I'm a white 20-year-old man, and like they talk about like fungus and how smart they are and how like interconnected they are. When they talk about like if you touch one part of the fungi and
like 2 miles away.
Yeah, like that stuff is so interesting to me throughout the like.
But also, there's been sort of a like everyone's talking about shrooms, fungus, like the medical benefits, like what fungus can do as like a tool.
You're definitely talking about it.
Yeah, but like Joe Rogan, whatever. But like seeing fungus is something like not only can it help your mental health, like help you get gains. Like we were actually from Jake Plummer, we were getting cordyceps. Like cordyceps helps you, like can help your performance.
That's why the infected are like so strong.
Yeah,
because they're just getting massive gains once they get infected.
So
that's why I love chocolate.
Yeah. So we know that, and there it is. Like it can also do something bad. Like and it does it in nature.
Too much of anything is a bad thing.
And it does it in nature. Like this is so possible. Like the possibility of this happening, I think, really touches. And I don't think this TV show would work. It wouldn't have worked before the pandemic.
No, I just gonna say
I
that.
like how they really were like, this isn't a virus.
Yeah.
Like how they're like, this isn't a virus.
Yeah.
Like we don't need a vaccine. You can't
You can't make a vaccine.
Like
yeah.
That lady that like when they were speaking the other language.
Oh yeah.
Bum.
Yeah. When she said drop a bomb on every major
thing.
I was like, oh my God, you bad bitch. Like it's an evil world out there.
Do you think she was infected? Because I saw a theory that she was in that restaurant when they found her and she was like eating dumplings or something.
But maybe she didn't eat the dumplings yet.
I know, but do you think
why would the dumplings matter?
Flour.
The flour.
Okay. I mean,
and she's like, and she's freaking the fuck out. Obviously, she has to have the whole world get bombed. But like,
actually, so since I started watching, I stopped watching The Walking Dead because
I heard it got really bad.
Yeah, it got really bad. So they've actually unveiled how the virus happens. So according to the Smoking Man,
is it a virus in The Walking Dead or is it?
Yeah,
just get a vaccine. I mean,
what the fuck?
So France. Wait.
You know what would be kind of funny if like, could you imagine like an
escape from a virus in France?
Could you imagine like a zombie apocalypse like broke out like in a virus form and we still had like anti-vaxxers just like, like man, I don't know.
I'm not shooting my kid up with this. What if it turns him into zombies?
Yeah. What if he turns infected?
No, but the mRNA stuff they're definitely going to be using on cancer soon, which I'm all for. I mean,
how did we get here?
That's
wait, what's happening?
No, but there's you know what's gonna happen. The first thing is like we shouldn't kill the zombies. They can be cured. Like, and then they're gonna like That's what it really would be. It wouldn't be at the first start. It would be like, don't kill them. They're just sick. And then they put them all in like hospitals, and then they all just break out. And then it's like the libs kept the zombies alive.
It's super right wing. I was thinking in my brain when oh shoot, I can't say anything. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, don't say
sorry,
anything. But
sorry,
like,
I won't say anything.
do like there's still like politics behind like the Last of Us. How like
that's what we were saying.
like I like what you exactly what
the
you were saying.
Fireflies.
Yeah, the Fireflies, like the rebellious people, like
they're
the cult,
the
communism,
the cult. Like, and that's like what I'm like. The cult got me excited for all the possibilities of what really like could happen in like the later seasons. And that's the worst part about TV shows nowadays is that like
now I gotta wait like 2 years.
It takes so long,
right? Especially with like HBO shows.
Like think like Euphoria. I like Euphoria. Like I'm like,
we're never gonna get Euphoria.
I'm like, what happened?
They should like have them banked before they put one out,
right? Because like
I don't mind week by week. I like week.
I like the week by week. It gives me something to do.
To look
I don't like
to.
like wait a year and a half and we get to tell you how to finish the story.
Then I forget.
I
forget, and they do the recap, but I'm like, I still have no idea what happened.
No, then they introduce.
Yeah, like I don't know what I ate yesterday for lunch.
Yes,
like, what am I going to remember what happened a year and a half
Like
ago?
Succession is starting up next weekend. I don't remember. All I remember of how season 3 ended is that last scene. I don't remember like anything from season 3.
All I know is
then
that
Casey Smith was in one of the episodes. That's all I remember. I gotta go watch season 3 again. But no, it's gonna take so long too because that show is so advanced in how they like make things. Like, I mean...
Right, like all the effects and CGI.
Oh my
and
God,
stuff,
yeah. Like, those clickers do not take a short time to get those prosthetics on.
Yeah.
Those clickers, I mean...
The big clicker.
Also...
Yo, when are we going to see... Wait, no, don't tell me. No,
it doesn't...
When are we going to see him again?
The big bloater?
Yeah.
I literally, like, shit my pants when I saw him. Mm-hmm. Because it's just like, what else is out there?
It's the fear of the unknown that they do really, really well. I was telling Billy this earlier in the episode of like, in the Cole episode when she's literally clobbering David. Like, it's not like they show David. It's like that your mind is like making things up of like what he could possibly look like. And that's almost scarier because you're like, oh my God, what would he even look like in that state? And he's getting burnt to a crisp. Like, that's so gross, but you don't even see it. It's like your mind is making things up and tricking you. And it's like your mind can go to like, what else is out there? What do those more bloaters look like? What do other like cult like civilizations look like? What's out there? Like I could have like a 10 million season show about just
the cults.
I
kind of like, it's like,
should we do that?
I honestly need another cult to come in my life in the show.
Like in The Last of Us?
Yeah.
But what would you want the cult to be like?
I kind of liked, it's fucked up, but like, I kind of liked David as a character.
As a character, he's a great
I love
character.
characters that I fucking despise.
Yeah.
Like characters that I feel very
He does
strongly
so
about.
well in making you want to hate his guts.
Yeah, like he made me, like he made my skin crawl. Like the sociopathic tendencies that he showed where he was so nice, how he wanted to be like like when he hit that girl that's father died.
Yeah. I jumped. I that was one of the scariest parts because it comes out of nowhere.
Then sat down with them.
He like levels with
when
you.
He helped her. That explained David perfectly. Slapped her silly.
Also
slapped her silly. And then
that was
her
such
up.
Also bitch slaps her.
Yeah.
He backhands her.
Yeah, that was such like abusive father move.
Yeah.
That's like then like beating a dog, but a dog still follows its master. Like shows it like hate, like
totally
hurt than love. That like fucked up situation. Like holy fuck.
And then he's like, "You'll always have a father."
Yeah.
And then like when he was the thing. What did he say to Ellie when he was trying to grape her? It was like,
why do you keep saying grape?
I don't like to say like rape. Just like it's
a gross word.
It just comes across
gross.
It's just a very strong word.
Honestly, putting the G in front makes it worse because it makes me think of that fucking video.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna keep saying grape.
YouTube video.
Yeah. I don't know what you're saying.
But so when he was on top of her and he's like, I like the fear in your eyes. I like when
the fighting is the best part.
The fighting is the best part. I was like,
bro,
if they went, you don't think he didn't, right?
Rape her?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she's a strong girl.
Yeah.
That was a stupid question by me.
No, but do you think he was gonna try? Okay, so when when he has her pinned down like that, when the whole room is burning up, do you think he would try to not kill her in that moment so he could then?
He was gonna do it
later?
in the fire building.
No. But do that a little bit later.
You think he was gonna do it right there, right then?
No.
with the fire?
Get out of the fire, but then be like, "You're mine now, bitch."
The non-consensual sexual act.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
I mean, obviously,
that
it was
coming.
happening.
That was happening in the fire. I don't think.
You
You think that was
I
happening
think
in
that
the
he was
fire?
he's so screwed up that he didn't care if that's where he died too.
Oh God.
If there's a fire, Jesus Christ.
Oh God.
Is he thinking of like doing it right there and then?
And then dying.
Getting out?
I think he had one goal.
To have her be the child bride.
I think he was more looking for
Child bride.
Of course, child bride, but the companionship. You could tell that he saw her as an equal that could intellectually stimulate.
Yeah, but she's 14.
I know.
And
It's
was
fucked
he
up.
was a
But I think
teacher.
it defeats the purpose if they both die. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to look at his history. I'd like to look at
definitely
I'd like to look at those
isn't the
county
first.
records.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to look at his county records.
Little Pittsburgh sexual offenders list, maybe.
Oh my God! Could you? Yeah, that's also a crazy part about like the apocalypse. Like sexual offenders are still running around. Like,
Murderers.
pedophiles, they become zombies too.
Oh,
I mean,
Aaron Rodgers, I think officially to the Jets.
Oh,
I think officially to the Jets.
Really?
hold on. Let's see.
Wait, let me just see.
I would love if this was on camera.
Yep,
seeing it.
officially to the Jets.
Seriously?
Yep. Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
Did he announce on
Yeah,
that other show?
on that other show that we don't talk about that I've
Yeah.
been watching this whole time. Yes.
Since Friday, my intention was to play for the New York Jets. Oh my God, Billy.
Wizard of New York. Get your t-shirts. 404 not found. Can we make that live? Come on. Is that live?
That's crazy.
Congrats? Question mark?
Fuck
Congrats,
yes.
Billy. It'll be
Fuck
nice.
yes.
to see
Dude, we're going to the
Patriots beat
Super
him,
Bowl.
too.
Is New York gonna ruin him now?
Yeah.
It might.
I mean, Billy. I don't want to say that Billy just put out a great blog. Check it out, talking about how the New York media ruins.
Yeah. I listened
Jets
to your
quarterbacks.
report.
Yeah, it was a great report.
Great report.
And I'm just looking forward to see Aaron Rodgers added to that list.
So we just got the Aaron Rodgers news. If you can't imagine, I have a lot of work to do. And I'm just pumped for them. It's not officially signed. The Jets still have to figure some stuff out. But he fucking bodied Schefter.
Yeah.
Schefter. He was like, lose my fucking number. That's boss. That's fucking hilarious. Diana Rossini caught some flack, said that her report was BS about him having a long laundry list of people he wants. That's kind of baller. I think this guy, he's going to war with the media, and he's coming to New York with the toughest media. And it's King Kong versus Godzilla. I love it. I don't even care. Like, we'll see what
Will
happens.
you fight the good fight for him?
I will fight the good fight for him.
Are you an Aaron Rodgers guy now?
I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy through and through. I'm going to go trip on ayahuasca and just get crazy with it.
I don't believe you.
I won't do ayahuasca, but I'm all in on Aaron. I think he's could he not only win us some games, he could also develop Zach Wilson. And
I love how Zach Wilson got thrown in.
Yeah.
By the way. Love that.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that was our extra dose.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Thank you for
thanks
coming,
for coming
Dukes.
on, Dukes.
Thank you, Mackenzie. She just had to leave.
Thanks, Mad Dog.
Thank
It was
you,
really
Billy.
fun. Hopefully
Thanks,
you
everyone.
Guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little, this fun time we get to have. Maybe we'll Extra Dose will take on another topic now that Last of Us is gone.
Do you watch Succession?
It's like
Maybe Dukes and I will do a Succession.
yeah, we could do
Succession
Succession.
rocks.
Succession. You would like Succession.
I do watch it, but I'm just not enthralled with it. I need to pick up something
I'm
new.
fucking enthralled by it.
I love it.
I can't wait to see who
Yeah.
comes up on top.
I know. I'm a
Yeah.
cousin Greg
Not like
stan.
David.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Love you.